Good morning. In today's class, we will discuss the practical characteristics of frequency selective filters. Okay. So, actually, we are in the fifth unit where we have started looking at the design of IIR filters and FIR filters. In the previous class, we have discussed different properties of filters like causality of a filter and stability of a filter. We have seen it. Those are the basic properties required if you want to implement a filter. And now in today's class we will see the characteristics of frequency selective filters, practical frequency selective filters. So frequency selective means selecting a particular frequency range and rejecting another particular frequency range. So frequency selective means selecting a particular frequency. Selecting means, suppose see, if you have a band of frequencies, a range of frequencies, only I need from 2 to 5 kilohertz. Remaining all other frequencies, I don't want remaining all other frequencies, only I want from 2 to 5 kilohertz. So then selecting this particular frequency range from 2 to 5 kilohertz and rejecting or blocking the remaining all other frequencies. All other means from 0 to 2 and 5 to above all frequencies. That is what is called frequency selective filters. Frequency selective filters means simply selecting the required frequencies and rejecting the not required frequencies or other frequencies based on your requirement. That is what is the frequency selective filters. As we know it already, but with a different name. Okay. So now we will see one by one what are the characteristics of each frequency selective filters. And before going to that characteristics, we have to know two important terminology parameters. That is a pass band and stop band. Okay. Stop band, pass band and stop band. So pass band means the band of frequencies which are allowed to pass through the filter. The band of frequencies or range of frequencies which are allowed to pass into the output by applying some frequency at the input side. Okay, range of frequencies which are transmitted to the output from the input is called a band of frequencies, or otherwise pass band. Okay, pass band. Pass band means the range of frequencies which are allowed to the output by applying some frequency at the input side. And stop band means the range of frequencies which are blocked or which are suppressed by the system when you apply at the input side. Suppose see, I have a system or filter here. Now apply the input. I have applied the input xn and get yn, and this is some filter. And based on the requirement, you can design the magnitude characteristics of the filter so that you can stop some frequencies and pass some frequencies into the output. Okay, suppose I have a band of frequencies like from 1 kilohertz to 1 kilohertz at input side to some 10 kilohertz. This is the frequency range. Only I want a particular frequency range from 1 kilohertz to some 3 kilohertz. You can do that. Okay. So therefore pass band means the range of frequencies which are allowed to the output of the filter or system, and stop band means the range of frequencies which are blocked by the filter or system to the output. So here if you see this, from 1 kHz to 3 kHz it is allowing to the output, that is called pass band, and remaining all other frequencies above 3 kHz like 3 to 10, all these frequencies are blocked by the system, and we say that this is a pass and stop band. Now we will see, actually like that you can have different ranges. So different ranges and the frequencies which are, suppose if you take a voice signal frequency range is 300 Hz to 3.4 kHz or 3400 Hz. So if you want to send only the speech signal, we have to allow the only from 300 Hz to 3400 Hz. Remaining all other frequencies we have to block it. Okay, in that sense, that 0.3 to 3.4 kHz is the pass band, and remaining all other frequencies they comes under stop band. Okay, I think you are clear about what is a pass band and stop band. Pass band means the band or range of frequencies which are allowed to pass into the output of the system, and stop band means the range of frequencies which are blocked or stopped to go into the output. And now we will see the characteristics of practical and ideal practical characteristics of the different filters, which we are going to see in the coming classes. Now this is omega, this is called omega, used to represent the analog frequency. So because we have to use this analog frequency and digital frequency variables here. So this is a omega is analog filter. This is also named as actually we call it as a omega, and this omega represents the analog frequency, and this mod h of j omega, that is a magnitude response. Okay, so this is the magnitude response of the filter or system. Magnitude response. Magnitude response of the filter. And low pass filter means, first we will see low pass filter. Low pass filter is a filter which passes low frequencies up to cutoff frequency. Low frequency means the frequencies which are near to the origin, like this. So this is origin, and if the filter passes only from 0 to this omega c, that is called cutoff frequency. This omega c is the cutoff frequency. Cutoff frequency. Okay, cutoff frequency means up to this frequency, all the frequencies which are coming from the input, they are allowed to present at the output. They are allowed to pass through the system, and remaining all other frequencies are stopped. Now you can observe this. So here the magnitude response is flat, and after that it is slowly reducing. Okay, so therefore, so maximum value is 1, and here at cutoff frequency the gain is 1 by root 2, that is 0.707 also you can write it. So here this is the practical low pass filter characteristics. If you observe ideal filter characteristics, these ideal low pass filter characteristics are like this. This is the ideal low pass filter characteristics. Okay, and this is the practical low pass filter characteristics. Practical low pass filter characteristics. Okay, because see, in practical low pass filter characteristics, only the difference between ideal and practical filters are, so in the ideal filters the cutoff frequency is sharp. Suddenly within 0 time magnitude is changing from 1 to 0. Suddenly it is changing, but in practical low pass filters, so it is slowly, from here it is slowly gradually reaching to the 0, and the 0 is reached at a large value of frequency band. Okay, that difference will be there in the ideal and practical low pass filter or any other filter characteristics. Okay, and here you see the magnitude is constant up to, so this cutoff frequency in ideal filters. But here in the practical low pass filter characteristics or magnitude response is slowly going, and finally it reaches to the 0 at large value of omega. Okay, this is the magnitude response or practical frequency selective filters characteristics of the practical low pass filter. Frequency selective means which selects this particular band, okay, this selects this particular band and rejects all other frequencies. Okay, this is called pass band. From 0 to omega c, it is called pass band. After that it is called stop band. And the frequencies which are present at the input of the filter, see, already we have seen the frequencies which are present at the input of the filter,
only from 0 to omega c it passes. Low pass filter means 0 to omega c it passes to the output. Whenever the input frequency is greater than the omega c, it will stop it. It will not allow to pass to the output. So this is a ideal low pass filter and ideal practical low pass filter characteristics. Now coming to the high pass filter. So this is high pass filter, and here you see high pass filter generally what it is, it passes the frequencies above the cutoff frequency. Now see, this is 0 and this is the cutoff frequency omega c, and high pass filter allowed to pass high frequencies above the cutoff frequency. Okay, now up to this it is 0. Ideally it is not allowing anything from 0 to omega c. It is not allowing any frequency component from 0 to omega c, and at omega c, so what happens, you will get a flat smooth magnitude response of 1, and here it is 1 by root 2 or 3 dB down. Okay, so therefore this is the magnitude response of the high pass filter. Simply you can understand. And now in this case, what is the pass band? This is the pass band. This is the pass band. Pass band means, so high pass filter passes the frequencies above the cutoff frequency. Okay, this is the pass band above the cutoff frequency, and it stops the frequencies or blocks the frequencies below the cutoff frequency. That is why it is called stop band. Okay, stop band, because all the low frequencies from 0 to omega c, it is so just blocking. It is stopping all the frequencies from 0 to omega c and passing all other frequencies above the omega c. That is why it is called high pass filter, and which passes the frequencies above the cutoff frequency. Here also same maximum magnitude is 1, and this is a 3 dB down, and at 3 dB down we define the cutoff frequency. So now you see the practical. This is a practical case. This is a practical. Generally, practical means these are realizable. Practical high pass filter, and this is, you see, these characteristics. This is an ideal high pass filter characteristics. Okay, ideal means suddenly you see at omega c, suddenly the magnitude response is rising from 0 to 1. That is not practically happens, only theoretically we can say suddenly it jumps from 0 to 1. In the same way here you see practical, in the practical characteristics what is happening, slowly the magnitude response is rising, and finally at some time it is, at some frequency it is reaching to the maximum value 1. Okay, that is the high pass filter characteristics. And coming to the band pass filter character, these are done separately. This is the ideal band pass filter characteristics, and this is the practical band pass filter characteristics. Okay, ideal and practical. Now see, it is simple to understand. So band pass means it passes a band of frequencies not centered about origin, somewhere other than origin. This is the 0, and so this omega 1 is the first frequency, first cutoff frequency, and omega 2 is the another frequency. Okay, so therefore between this omega 1 and omega 2, all frequencies are allowed to the output. Okay, so from omega 1 to omega 2, all frequencies are allowed. That is why we have a maximum gain here 1. This is ideal. Because it is ideal, the magnitude response is suddenly jumping from 0 to 1, and after, so at omega 2, magnitude response suddenly changing from 1 to 0. Okay, so like this what happens is, only it passes a band of frequencies from omega 1 to omega 2, and it stops all other frequencies. So from 0 to omega 1 and omega 2 to infinity, all other frequencies it stops. So this is ideal band pass filter characteristics. It is passing a band of frequencies and blocking all other frequencies. That is why it is called a band pass filter. Now this is a practical band pass filter. So here also you see what's happening is, so here the magnitude response is not suddenly jumping from 0 to 1 like that. You see, initially it is 0, slowly it is rising, again it is falling, again it is rising, and finally it is reaching 0. Okay, So therefore this maximum value is 1 and this is a 3 dB value, 3 dB down value. So here you see wherever this response characteristics is crossing with 1 by root 2 or 3 dB down, that is called lower cutoff frequency, omega L. Omega L means lower cutoff frequency. And in the same line, wherever this side, opposite side, exactly opposite side, wherever it is crossing, that is called upper cutoff frequency. Okay, omega L means lower, omega U means upper. And this omega 1 and omega 2, okay, these are the some lower values. So this you can say that from omega 1 to omega 2 finally is taken at some lower value, maybe so it is 0.5 or somewhere around that. So omega 1 and omega 2 are the frequencies which are above the upper cutoff frequency and below the lower cutoff frequency. This is a lower cutoff frequency, so below that omega 1 is there and omega 2 is there. This is a another specification. 1 by root 2, most of the time we consider this 1 by root 2 the point or the magnitude where, so this magnitude response where it becomes 3 dB down of 3 dB less of the maximum value, that is 1 by root 2. Okay, here it is 1, it is 1 by root 2. So at that 1 by root 2, so we define the lower and upper cutoff frequencies. So therefore it passes only these frequencies and stops the remaining all other frequencies. That is the practical band pass filter characteristics. Now you see this is a band reject filter or band elimination filter. A band reject or band elimination filter. So here again see you have I don't want to send this frequency band. Suppose see I want to send only, so first this one and this one, and you assume that there is a frequency like this, there is a frequency like this, complete frequency you have. Now I don't want to send this particular frequency band, omega 1 to omega 2. I don't want to send this. I want to send only these two spectrums. I want to send only these two frequency ranges. I don't want to send this. Okay, then we can use such type of filters. So these are very much useful in signal processing. So therefore, so first the magnitude response here is maximum pass band, and you have a maximum magnitude in the stop band 0 because it is ideal. This is the ideal band reject filter. This is the practical band reject filter. Here what is happening? See, in the pass band you have maximum magnitude, in the stop band 0, ideal means 0. Here maximum. Again you have a maximum and after that 0. So therefore it is passing only from 0 to up to this frequency band, maybe omega 1, and so from again this frequency band to this particular frequency it is passing. And if you come to the practical band reject filters, see here the magnitude is not constant like that, magnitude is slowly decreasing, and then after reaching the stop band end, so and rising and reaching maximum value after some frequency. Now wherever this magnitude reduces by 1 by root 2, if you draw a line, wherever that line cuts this frequency response characteristics, that is called lower cutoff frequency and upper cutoff frequency. Okay, this band is the band of frequencies, those are rejected or blocked by the filters or band reject filters, and remaining all other frequencies up to from here to here it will pass, and from here to here again from upper omega U to other frequencies it passes all other frequencies. So these are the different filters which we are going to see in our discussion, and their characteristics, magnitude, especially magnitude response characteristics, are characteristics of practical frequency selective filters. So I hope you are clear about why they are called frequency selective, because they select particular frequency band and reject a remaining frequency band. So that is why they are called frequency selective filters. Especially they are low pass filter, high pass filter, band pass filter and band elimination filter. Okay, so now we will see the design procedure of digital filters.
digital IIR filters. Okay. Now in that procedure, first we have to design analog filter for the required specifications, and after designing the analog filters, we have to transform analog filter into a digital filter. Okay, this is the procedure. So there are different types of filters are there, like Butterworth filter, Chebyshev filters. First we design the filter in the analog representation, and after that, using some transform techniques, we'll see that also what are the transform techniques available to transform an analog filter into a digital filter. Okay, so therefore the idea is to design an analog prototype filter, then transform it into digital filter. That is the idea. Directly we will not design the analog filters for IIR filters especially. So what we do is, first we design the analog prototype filter and then transform that analog prototype filter into digital filter. Okay, so therefore this procedure is implemented using some steps. So derivation of digital transfer function involves 3 different steps. Okay, how to derive the digital filter transfer function from the analog filter transfer function. Okay, now first one, mapping the desired digital filter specifications into equivalent analog filter. Okay, so first we have some specifications. We will see that specifications in the diagram, and those specifications we have to transform we have to map the desired digital specifications into the equivalent analog filter transform, analog filter specifications, and after that derive the analog filter transfer function for the analog prototype. First what we have to do, we have to map the desired digital filter specifications. That specifications means what is the pass band ripple, what is the stop band ripple, what is the allowable pass band magnitude and allowable stop band magnitude, and what is the cutoff frequency, what is the pass band cutoff frequency, what is the stop band cutoff frequency, what is the cutoff frequency. All these things are the specifications. It comes under specifications. So first of all we have to map all these desired digital filter specifications into equivalent analog filter specification. That is the first step. Second one, derive the analog filter transfer function for the analog prototype. Okay, first we have to find out the analog filter transfer function. After doing this, then as a final step, transform analog filter transfer function into digital filter transfer function using some transform techniques. The transform techniques we will see later whenever we come across the design. Now these are the steps. Okay, first map the digital filter specifications into analog prototype, and after that second one, derive the analog filter transfer function for the prototype, for analog prototype only, and after that transform analog filter transfer function into digital filter transfer function. Okay, that is the final step. Now we will see what are the specifications. We have discussed, we have talked about this transfer function, desired digital filter specifications. Okay, we will see what are the specifications of these different filters. Now all these are the low pass filter characteristics only, magnitude response of the low pass filter, whatever we have seen in the just now. So therefore now you see all are low pass, because there is a pass band from 0 and stop band here. Now we will see in clear about this, in detail about this. Now first here, this is an analog low pass filter magnitude response. Analog low pass filter magnitude response. So therefore, see it is starting here and reaching the maximum value here, and it is slowly reducing, and finally it is having some small oscillations in the stop band. Now this is called pass band and this is the stop band. There is some other band is also defined here, that is a transition band. TB means transition band. Transition band. Okay, what is the meaning of this? Transition band means it is the range of frequencies over which the magnitude response characteristics of the filter will change from one
band to another band, maybe pass band to stop band or stop band to pass band. Okay, the transition frequency range is called a transition band. Okay, now we will see, already we have discussed about what is a low pass filter characteristic. Simply what we have to see here is what is the significance of this omega p, omega c and omega s. So therefore omega p represents analog pass band frequency. Okay, this is analog, this is analog low pass filter magnitude characteristics. Omega p is the analog low pass band frequency, and omega s is the analog stop band frequency, and this is the cutoff frequency, analog cutoff frequency. So why I am saying analog is, see, this is an omega is there, and this is the first of, because we have to design this. So mapping the desired digital filter specifications into equivalent analog filter. Okay, whatever the digital filter specifications we need, that we have to map it first into analog filter. So this omega p is the pass band frequency, omega c is the stop band cutoff frequency, and omega s is the stop band frequency. And see, in the pass band, see, this is the minimum, means from here only the magnitude is rising. Okay, maximum value is 1, and 1 by under root 1 plus epsilon square. So this epsilon is actually that is a parameter defined for the pass band here. Okay, epsilon is allowable pass band parameter. Okay, pass band parameter, and after that we will have 1 by root 2. This is 1, maximum value is 1, and 1 by root 2 or 0.707 of its maximum value is there. At that point cutoff frequency is defined. Okay, at this particular value 1 by under root 1 plus epsilon square, this is a allowable pass band parameter at this point. So pass band frequency is defined, and at this omega s stop band frequency is defined. Okay, stop band frequency like this. We will have a range here, stop band frequency. Okay, like this. Now, so we have to, after that second step, what we have to do is derive the analog filter transfer function for the analog prototype. So after that we have to derive it, and finally what to do is transform analog filter transfer function into digital filter transfer function. Now after having this omega p, omega c and omega s, epsilon, all these values you have to transform into digital domain. So this is the magnitude response of digital low pass filter. Okay, so that is analog. First we have to design that analog prototype, and after designing analog prototype we have to transform that analog filter transfer function into digital filter transfer function. Now in this different parameters are defined. Same, one is there here also, 1 here also, 1 maximum value in the pass band is 1, and here this is a parameter, allowable parameter in the pass band, because see, it is suddenly it is not going to 1, slowly it is rising from here to, it is rising to 1. So therefore 1 by under root epsilon square, that is also there. So what is that epsilon? Epsilon is allowable pass band parameter, and again 1 by root 2. So another important thing is, so here to define the stop band we have some range, and you see this. So in the stop band actually ideally means we must have a 0 magnitude, but we have some ripples here in the stop band also, and if you see slowly it is rising. So these are the ranges. This is the range, allowable range in the pass band, and this is the allowable ripple range and amplitude variation range in the stop band. So here the differences between analog and the digital. See, the omega actually we are using to represent digital filter characteristics. It is we are using omega. This is the digital filter frequency, and this is the analog filter frequency. And see, 1 by under root 1 plus lambda square. So this lambda is stop band parameter, allowable stop band parameter. So therefore 1 by under root 1 plus lambda square means that is the magnitude up to that you can allow the ripples in the pass band. And so 1 by under root 1 plus epsilon square is the allowable magnitude range in the pass band. Okay, again here, so the frequency value at which this 1 by under root omega under root 1 plus epsilon square touches this magnitude function, pass band frequency, and cutoff frequency where this 1 by root 2 line cuts the magnitude characteristics at this particular point. So the magnitude reduces to 3 dB down of its maximum value. So maximum value is 1. 3 dB down means 1 by root 2 only, and that is the cutoff frequency. And this point where this 1 by under root 1 plus lambda square cuts this magnitude plot, that is called omega s. That omega s is a stop band frequency, which means above this it is a stop band. Here also omega s is a stop band. Above this it is a stop band, but this is allowable stop band ripples. Okay, here also it is allowable stop band ripples. So therefore we have to map, we have to transform analog filter transfer function into digital filter transfer function. And this third figure, what it represents is pass band error tolerance, maximum allowable magnitude in stop band. So to define that, this is another way of representing this digital filter transfer function magnitude response in terms of the parameters, see epsilon and lambda. Okay, now see what happens here. Another two different parameters are defined. See here the magnitude response can go to the higher than the greater than this 1. See 1 plus delta p. What is delta p? Pass band error tolerance, which means up to this from 1 to 1 plus delta p. 1 plus delta p means greater than, delta p is some non-zero value. So 1 plus delta p means above the 1. So delta 1 minus delta p means below the 1 value. So therefore from here to here, what you will get? 1 plus delta p minus 1 minus delta p. So therefore in that range you can have a maximum. Delta p means pass band error tolerance. Up to that, so up to this you can tolerate it, and after that you cannot tolerate the frequency, means magnitude, which means this is allowable pass band error above the 1 maximum value, and this is the allowable pass band error below the maximum value. Okay, so delta s is the maximum allowable magnitude in the stop band, which means this is the maximum value that which you can allow in the stop band. So how they are related is epsilon is equal to under root epsilon p minus 1 minus delta p. Okay, so this is the pass band parameter. Again you see delta p means again it is a pass band parameter. And lambda, you see this lambda you can get from this formula if you know these characteristics. Under root 1 plus delta p whole square minus delta s whole square divided by delta s. So therefore how to calculate, so that epsilon and lambda you can get from these specifications. Practically you will have these values delta p and delta s, omega p, omega c, omega s. And what is the, so delta p means what? Pass band error tolerance. In the designing problem you will be given what is the pass band error tolerance and what is the stop band error tolerance. So those two specifications will be given. Based on that you can calculate what is epsilon. Epsilon means, if you know epsilon you can identify this one, and also lambda, so you can identify this. If you know the lambda, so you can calculate this 1 by under root lambda square, that is a pass band stop band allowable maximum allowable magnitude in the stop band. So this diagram is useful in the designing of filters, because so in the designing what happens is, what is the maximum pass band error tolerance? This is the maximum pass band error tolerance, and 1 plus delta p, 1 minus delta p. This is the maximum variation. Theoretically it has to be like this, constant. But what is happening? It is not constant. It is changing from less than 1 to greater than 1, somewhere 1 plus delta p. So therefore what is this delta p and what is this delta s? They will be given in the design specifications. Using that you can calculate what is this pass band frequency and stop band frequency. So like this what happens is, so to design any filter, any digital filter, first we have to frame, or we have to design a prototype of the analog filter for the given digital filter specifications. After that we find the analog filter transfer function. Then that analog filter transfer function derivation we'll see that procedure later. And after finding out the analog filter transfer function, you transform that analog filter transfer function into digital filter transfer function, and you realize the different specifications. delta P, delta S, and what is omega P, omega C, omega S. These are the only specification in the design. What is epsilon, what is delta. So therefore, achieving epsilon and delta from these specifications, that is actually a designing issue, a design problem. Okay, now so I will stop here. In the next class we will see what are the different transform techniques available to convert from analog filter transfer function to digital filter transfer function. See, last one is transform analog filter transfer function into digital filter transfer function. To transform this, there are some transformation techniques are there that will start in the next class. Okay, thank you.